As elections approach, the Likud party held a press conference with Anglos in the party working to bring in English speakers to supporting Likud.
During this election, 4 former Americans are running for a spot on the Likud Knesset list, and they all appeared Tuesday evening at the Menachem Begin Heritage Center in Jerusalem. The participants told a little about their history and what brought them to the Likud, as well as touching upon the policies they want the government to enact.
Although I'm here, I've been in Israel 34 years, but I came when I was 3 years old.
I never thought about going into politics until a year ago. Bibi Benjamin Netanyahu invited me to his Lishka, Yossi Pellet, and then they asked me, Tal, is the country important to you? And of all people to ask, here since 40 years in his country, and then they're asking if it's popular. So I was wondering where are they getting to, you know? And so immediately said the country is, but politics is something as far as anything for me.
I went abroad to study in the United States and worked at our consulate in New York. And after 6 years there, I had no doubt that I'd be returning. I made my aliyah. It was my choice to come and live in Israel.
When Benjamin Netanyahu wakes up in the morning, he thinks about how he's going to protect and defend the territorial integrity of the State of Israel. He's going to hold on to as much as possible, and he's certainly not going to divide Jerusalem. When everybody else wakes up in the morning in the other parties, they think about how they can find the way of unleashing these unnecessary territories from the State of Israel. That's the difference.
Working in the bureaucracy, working with government for a very long time, I felt that or I could see it from the inside, there were a lot of things that were missing.
I've been involved in several battles, and the main one was the battle against the disengagement.
I think we can all be happy to have this quality of people running and hopefully being elected.
All these battles that I tried to lead outside of the Knesset, I could do even better in the Knesset.
During the event, the speakers addressed mistakes past governments had made and the changes that were needed for the future.
When we look at how the communities or the settlers, as they call it, for some reason the word settlers becomes something negative. Settlers is nothing negative. This country was built on the essence of settling.
The first thing that I'm going to deal with in the Knesset is to remove this cherpa, this disgusting, intolerable, unconscionable, impossible treatment of people who not only had their homes destroyed, but their honor destroyed, their dignity taken from them. And the least we can do now is resettle them for the betterment of the families and for the betterment of the country.
And when we look at the settlers and how they were treated, the best of our community, how they were treated in the disengagement, whether you agree with the disengagement or not, we can all agree on one thing. The way these people were treated since the disengagement is an embarrassment to this country.
I discovered that all we needed in the Likud the last time is 4 members that would have raised their hand against rather than raising their hand for, in order that this whole disengagement wouldn't have taken place.
Our politicians are more concerned with what's said about them in the newspaper. They're more concerned with the impression they leave than doing what they're supposed to do for the public. And that's why we believe that in this election, the people in the Likud this time will be people of substance who are there in order to serve the people in the State of Israel.
If you run out of Judea, Samaria, Jerusalem, the Golan for the sake of peace in Oslo, you had good intentions. You were wrong, but you had good intentions. If you run out of Gush Katif for the sake of peace unilaterally, you had good intentions. You were wrong. But if after all the bloodshed that Oslo brought upon this country, and you continue to run on a platform which talks about further disengagement from the hilltops of Judea and Samaria, you continue to talk about dividing Jerusalem, that is not public policy failure, that is ideological corruption.